Mike Pachelli here. Thanks for tuning in. For this lesson, I'll be talking about the Beatles' recording of Roll Over Beethoven that they did in July of 1963. The song was written by Chuck Berry in January of 1956 and in a standard 12-bar blues format. And the Beatles had been performing the song back since 1957 when they were still the Quarrymen, and with John Lennon singing the lead, but it was given to George to sing in 1961. About the song, John said, "When I hear rock, good rock of the caliber of Chuck Berry, I just fall apart and I have no other interest in life. The world could be ending if rock and roll is playing. It's a disease of mine. In the 50s, when people were virtually singing about nothing, Chuck Berry was writing social comment songs with incredible meter to the lyrics." The Beatles performed 15 songs of Chuck Berry's in their live performances, probably more than any other artists. Fun facts to know and tell. When George Harrison visited his sister Louise in Benton, Illinois back in September of '63, he sat in with a group called the Four Vests at a VFW hall, and he sang and played Roll Over Beethoven. July 30th, '63, they're at EMI Studio 2. They do 5 takes of the song, take 5 being the best, with the lineup being George Harrison on his 1962 Country Gentleman, John Lennon on his 1958 Rickenbacker 325, Paul on bass, and Ringo on drums. They did overdubs by bouncing from one tape machine to another, and that would be George Harrison double tracking his lead vocals. He also overdubbed the guitar solo and the last guitar chord of the song. And the rest of the Beatles overdubbed hand claps throughout the entire arrangement. The song was mixed on August 21st. And the Beatles played it on BBC Radio around 7 times for different shows, including Steppin' Out, Saturday Club, Pop Go the Beatles, and From Us to You. And they did it on various TV shows, too. One show was called Around the Beatles, another It's the Beatles, The Beatles in Netherlands, and The Beatles Sing for Shell. Roll Over Beethoven was the show opener for their first American concerts, and they played it till June of 1966. And the song was released in Britain on an album called With the Beatles in November of 1963, and in the USA on an album called The Beatles' Second Album. That happened in April of 1964. So that's the backstory. Let's get started. George Harrison is playing his Gretsch Country Gentleman on Roll Over Beethoven. This is a country classic, and I've got it going through a 1964 Vox AC30. The intro is pretty iconic. I think I'll just play it for you very, very slowly, and then you can see it up to tempo on my sound-alike. So here's the intro. 1, 2, 3. I think I've noticed that that ending, instead of just 2 C's, something George does a lot. All right? And then on the verses, pretty much verse 1, 2, and 3 are identical. He pretty much plays 1 and 2, 3, 4. And he's doing it in that Chuck Berry rock and roll thing where you play root and fifth, and you get to the root and sixth and the root and the seventh. So, like that. Now, if that's too hard with your pinky, you can also get the 7th tone here. You can just play and kind of get the same sound. But pretty much it goes through D to G to D, G to D, G, A, D, just on rock and roll. So it sounds like this, relatively slow sounds on all the verses. Now, of note is whenever there's two measures of a chord, like there's two measures of a G, he plays that one extra eighth note on the end of 4. So like on the fifth measure, where it's two measures of G, he goes... Same thing on the two measures of the D. But if it's just one measure of a chord, he just plays to an A. And I think you know what I mean. Okay, then on what I'm calling verse 4 is, if you're feeling like it, that part, he's singing a little more, so he plays differently. He basically bars a D chord, but just plays up to the G string. And he plays... Now a little different here on the G. Now on these Gs, he doesn't go up to the 7th, it just stays on the 6th, rocking from. And then that's where the solo starts. So let me give you a close-up of the solo right now. 3, 4... Then on verse 5, it's exactly pretty much like verse 1, 2, 3. There's a few little differences on verse 6, like in measure 4, verse 6, minor things that he just variates the Chuck Berry rock and roll thing. So I'll play the first 4 measures of verse 6, kind of slow. It's like this. He goes, minor variations. Exactly the same on the G like the regular. Same thing on the D. Then on this G, verse 6 only, he goes. Right? And then regular all the way out. Then on the outro, he plays concorda notes on this part. He goes, and another little different measure where he plays and then half notes. Then to play this ending correctly, you have to play a measure of, it goes down here on this A root and a fifth of an A. So you count 1, 2, then 1, 2, 3, 4, and just regular rock and roll. You have to go. Then. So again, one measure of 2, which you go, then a measure of 4, and then the last line. Charts and tabs at MikePachelli.com will make it clearer than I could say it or play it. That's George's part on Roll Over Beethoven. John is playing his Rickenbacker 325 on Roll Over Beethoven. I've got mine going through my Vox AC30. And he plays pretty much the same part as George did, but there's just little differences here and there. And he comes in on measure 5 on that G, rocking the Chuck Berry way. And he plays like this while George is doing the intro on bar 5. John goes 3, 4. on the verses, 1, 2, and 3, pretty much the same kind of rocking, but just once in a while he plays a full D chord and he gets up to this F sharp note. You hear that ring out. And it happens at different places on the first 3 verses. Charts and tabs at MikePachelli.com will show you exactly where that happens. But I'll give you an example. So on a verse, it's like this. You'd go, Again, that doesn't happen every time, but it happens at various places during the first 3 verses. Then on verse 4, he kind of simplifies his rocking, and just between the root, the 5th, or the root, and the 6th. So in verse 4, it's kind of like. Here he just blatantly makes a mistake. He goes, reaches up a little too high. And then back to, like that. On the solo section, pretty much just straight rocking again. So on the solo section, John is playing. Then on verse 5 and 6, just more rocking. There's a couple little differences. Let me see if I can do you one of those verses. Maybe this is like verse 6 would be. And then on the outro, he's just rocking and rolling the first couple of measures, just playing. Now on this G, he does another oops. He goes, just reaches up a little too high. Gets the B in the G string. Then back to straight rocking. Then again, a measure of 2/4 and a measure of 4/4 of just low A rocking. Charts and tabs at MikePachelli.com will make it clearer than I could play it or say it, but that's John's part on Rollover Beethoven. I have put it together in a sound alike so you can see how both guitar parts fit together, so please have a look at this.
It's a
So those are the two guitar parts that make Roll Over Beethoven really rock, and I think George did a much better job than the original. I suggest you download the charts and tabs at MikePachelli.com, learn both parts, play along with my sound alike, and you'll get it just like the Beatles. And I really appreciate your consideration in supporting my work that way. And if you haven't yet, please subscribe to my YouTube channel, because that moves me up in the YouTube queue and allows more people to see my work. So have fun playing this great old song, and until next time, I'm Mike Pachelli. Thanks for hanging out with me.